Hello, hello, guys. Welcome back to Red Lentil Healing. So I've got a pretty profound, well, okay, it's not really profound, but I want to ask a spiritual question. I want to know, what is it going to take for us humans to get back to a place of just common sense and wake up out of this fog, out of this haze, that the sleepiness that a lot of us are in? So what am I asking? What does this mean? I'm looking at it from a perspective of ingesting and consuming information. A lot of people are awakened and they're healing and they're moving and they're trying to ascend into a higher plane. And basically, there's a lot of people out there who get it. They're awoke, or awakening. Then you've got people who are thinking that they're awakening, but they're still kind of lower vibrational. They're still easily manipulated by media messages or by people who think certain things. And so they think they're waking up, they think they're ascending higher, but really they're kind of a little bit more here. Then you've got a large mass of people who, let's just go ahead and call it for what it is. You've got people who are the QAnoners. You've got, the Q conspiracy people. I even have some very smart, people that I held or still hold to a degree, a high regard, a high esteem, who believe and buy into things that are just so I'm going to call it outlandish, but I have a hard time understanding how they allow themselves, as intelligent as they are, to buy into some of these theories. And really, it's an essence of, why aren't they using their common sense? 1 + 1 = 2. Not 5, 8, not 4, not 3, but 2. It's common sense. Why won't they believe it? And I wonder if there's an energy, if there's something out there that's not allowing people to just use their common sense to wake up so we can ascend higher. So I want to look at this from a chakra perspective. What chakras, what do they need to work on? What do we collectively need to do to work together to get these people, those who can, let's just put it that way, out of this lower vibrational place and get them to a place of where I call it common sense? Because again, we don't have to agree politically. However, your political beliefs or some of your spiritual beliefs or whatever you want to believe, is it based in like something that can be understood, or is it so deeply weird? And I'm like, a lot of these Q conspiracies, I'm trying not to even call it crazy because I don't want to pass judgment, but where's the common sense? What is it going to take spiritually for common sense to kind of come back into human consciousness, where that's more of the prevalent and not I'm not going to say the exception, but it's just, that's more of it. I think I pulled 5. I want to pull 5 cards. Spirit's saying 6. I keep hearing 6, 6, 6. Okay, I pulled 6. I didn't pull a full chakra 7 card spread, but I'm going to pull 6. What is it going to take? What do we need to work on? First thing is communication. Your throat chakra, and you see there's 2 people talking to each other. The throat chakra is about speaking and hearing divine truth. So the first thing that needs to happen is people need to listen, attune their throat chakra so they can not only speak truth, but they need to hear it. And this is more on the listening. People need to be able to work on their throat chakra so they listen and absorb the information more than they just speak. Instead of something, I'm going to repeat it because it feels right. I'm going to repeat this because it sounds sound. It sounds of something that's based in fact, or at least something that we can research and digest and pick apart, and not just conjecture. Communication, throat chakra, listening to divine truth. Flexibility, this sacral chakra. Your sacral chakra is your house of pleasure, your house of emotions. So being more flexible, because what's happening is that there's this dogma, there's this rigid belief system, and that they're having to follow it, and they're following it because it feels good. There's a pleasure. It allows for it's a cognitive dissonance. It allows for them to feel okay. And they don't realize they call everybody else non-believers or sheep. They're saying that, I'm going to go ahead and use the term snowflake. But they're the ones that are rigid, and they need to be a more flexible in their emotions. Because if they are, they will realize and see that things may not. It is okay to have a different belief. It is okay to ascend and to wake up and to move out of a certain thought process. But you've got to be able to be flexible in order to do that. Inner child. This is heart chakra. Your ability to give love without expecting anything in return, and your ability to receive love without feeling guilty, feeling shame. Grief also gets stuck in the heart chakra if you're grieving. Some inner child work. Who did you believe the most when you were little? Did you believe your friends and what they told you? Or did you believe your parents, your elders? There's a lot of inner child work that needs to happen, because maybe some people didn't heal as much as they thought from old child trauma. That's what I'm hearing, is healing. Connecting to that inner child spirit and healing the inner child. Maybe you're highly doubtful because you feel like you've been lied to your entire life. So therefore you'll listen to anything because you don't trust anything. Maybe that needs to heal. Healing love, healing that heart chakra, so you can ascend to a higher place. Well, doggone, didn't I say this earlier? Listening. Another throat chakra. Listening to divine truth. You got to listen to divine truth. Open your ears to hearing truth. And again, not just what feels good, what feels right. It hurts to hear something that changes your perspective, that goes against things that you've believed in. But that means that you're opening your throat chakra and you're truly aware and able to listen to divine truth from spirit, from anything other than a lower vibrational source. I'm going to line this up right here with this communication, since they're both throat chakra. So listening again. Wow, I promise y'all saw me shuffle and pick the cards. So we're getting another sacral chakra, but this one's with relationships. We as humans, so not just the people who cannot ascend out of this common sense frequency, but everybody as humans, we tend to build relationships with people who are like us. This tribalism. See how the two trees are going towards each other. They're rooted in the ground. Their roots are the same. But the upper body is trying to reach out to kiss, to embrace. This is about relationships. They need to start meshing and intertwining in groups that are not just like their echo chambers and their ecosystems. Get out of the parlors. Get out of these Facebook groups. Stay off Q Twitter and start embracing relationships, even families. Families who don't have the same political beliefs, or they've got to start building relationships with people who think a little bit different and realize that it's going to be okay to be friends with somebody who's unlike you, because that's going to help change your perspective and broaden your horizon. Up and another sacral chakra, and this one is creativity. Creativity, how finding new ways to ingest media. I don't know why I'm hearing this. Breaking out of the box, getting out of your rut. And I know it may not seem like it's creativity, but what it is it's going to be a new creative way to think, to ingest messages, to get news, get out of the OANs, the Foxes. I have a very, very, very good friend who only watches the Young Turks, and it's nothing against the Young Turks, but that is the only source of news that she gets, and she's very, very highly skeptical of anything and everything, not even realizing how the Young Turks even vet their sources. And again, it's nothing against the Young Turks, but I'm using that as an example. When you only consume one perspective, one thought, that is very hard to change your perspective. And they're going to have to find new ways to consume, to ingest information. Again, I picked the cards at random, but we've got a very, Spirit picked the reading. Spirit told us we've got a theme, right? Throat chakra. Listening to divine truth, and then talking. When they speak, how does it sound? What are they saying? Instead of just saying something because it sounds right, emotionally, what is the sound of what are they saying? And is it sound? Is it sound? Is it reasonable? Okay. A lot of sacral chakra, a lot of that house of emotion, that house of pleasure, that house of creativity, that house of rebirth and reproducing, being flexible with how they think, relationships, going out and creating groups outside of their ecosystems and their echo chambers, creatively, creative ways, new ways to consume and ingest information from how they've been doing it through now. And this heart chakra with healing their perceptions, doing some inner child work, because what got you here may not get you there. The patterns and belief systems that you've had to now that have gotten you here. If you want to ascend higher, if you want to move to another plane, that same belief system and that pattern may not be what you need to continue with to get you to the next place. Heart chakra. This is what Spirit says needs to happen for people to start using common sense again. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed this reading. Make sure you're taking care of yourselves, guys, okay? Till the next video, much love to you all. Bye.